time to tackle Jumanji, because recently I watched it for the first time. I kid you not, the first time. And I'd already seen its sequel Zathura like 7 times, but after watching it I understood why people typically enjoy Jumanji over Zathura. This one has effects that take on an entire town, it brings deeper meaning to the plot, and it doesn't have dang Kristen Stewart. And yes, I know all of you want me to cover the movie 9, but I think I'll hold off on it a little longer, maybe Halloween. That is unless Coraline trumps it again. And before I get into my theory, I now have a Theorizer Twitter account where I'll post updates, previews, and hold more polls. And I see some of you have already found it. So what is it about this film? The age-old question is, how does Jumanji work? There have been many ideas. Was it a dream? Was it just magic? Was it science? And if so, how is it scientific? Well, I'm going to give out my opinion. And just so you know, this small theory does not include the non-canon TV series. So, to find out exactly what this game does, we need to analyze the ending. And I'm following the idea that when you first roll the dice, the game immediately takes the universe you are in and makes it a part of that game. We see Alan and Sarah roll the dice, and then the entire course of the universe is disconnected, creating a parallel one just for the game. Alan then rolls and is sucked into the game. At first I thought, hey, he is being sucked into a game within a game, kinda like Inception. No. He is rather being sucked into a game within a parallel universe created by the game. Already pretty trippy. Now, this universe theory is entirely backed up by the rules of the game. It says when you reach the end and call out Jumanji, all of its dire effects will be undone. It also says that when you are playing, you are leaving behind your world. Excellent. I'm sure a few people thought this as well, but this is just me clearing up how I think it works. It's just a theory, or maybe an obvious idea, but I'm still bringing scientific light to it. So what made this terrifying game? Well, its origin is Africa, as seen by the game's theme and the animals it emits. We see such animals as what the exterminator calls African bats, as well as how Jumanji is a Zulu word and it translates to English for many effects. Now, when you think of African Zulu magic and stuff, you think of usually voodoo, the African religion of spirits. Quite the interesting religion and very ancient. In today's society, you most likely know about voodoo by the dolls. Voodoo dolls are those dolls that you can tether to the lives of people and then do things to them, affecting the victim. And applying this African magic to Jumanji, it would appear as though this game is tethered to some form of voodoo, and its bongo beat is tethered to, and I quote, "those who seek to find a way to leave their world behind." We've now established how it works, and its origin. Okay, and while those are both fine and dandy, I think I have more. More things that prompt, well, more questions. So, I watched it a second time and discovered something very interesting about this scene in the factory. The homeless man who is in Sam's old office struck me as a bit odd. Think about it. He was an old man with slicked back brown hair who smoked a pipe up in Sam's office, who knows a lot about parish shoes and Sam's emotional trauma during the finding of his child who was assumed dead. Why am I messing around? This is Samuel Parrish. But I hear you saying, Mr. Theorizer, what about his grave? Well, it's a memorial. Sam Parrish was dead. He just quit caring. And after all of the horrible rumors, such as that he diced up his son, he left it all, and understandably left his old life. Assuming his death, his wife had nothing to live for, and, as seen by the monthly gap, possibly killed herself. Sam Parrish's life was dead, but that doesn't stop him from just leaving it all for something new. Bankruptcy can lead to homelessness, carelessness can lead to depression, and we see that this man's explanation of Sam Parrish is heartfelt and deep. His ignorance had caused the town to become a state of ruin, and he left it all. This also explains why the game undoes so much, because Sam's lack of working led to a ruined city, all leading back to the game. Nobody liked him after his son left. They all thought he chopped up Alan and stuffed him into the walls of Parrish Manor. He destroyed the town's economy. All of this leads him to lie about his old identity for the much-needed self-preservation. And that is my take on the film Jumanji. In a briefly unbrief summarization, the science of this game is pretty basic really. The tethering magic of African voodoo reels in those who aren't satisfied with what they have. The game then prompts them to play it, and the second those totems are taken out, the whole universe is set aside and paused until the game is finished. And Sam Parrish becomes homeless and bankrupt after his ignorant neglect for the town his family had controlled for centuries. pretty deep for a film about a board game. Luckily, they're rehashing it in 2017 with better special effects. I can't wait. But anyways, now time for another poll. Click in the top right corner. Alright, vote, and check out my Twitter and subscribe. Bye.